popping. You had that drought in that third quarter right after Jalen went out. What did you see as a difference?
Yeah, I mean, I think, similar to last night, Orlando, obviously they're long, they're physical, and they're a really good rebounding team. And I thought we did a great job last night in that area. These guys are the fourth best offensive rebounding team. I thought one free throw line blockouts, offensive rebounding, that really hurt us, in particular, coupled with the fact that I thought we had a hard time scoring. I think there was some good looks. There was some other possessions where I thought we could have maybe sprayed it a little bit more and found the open man. I thought Vooch out of the post, they came down and doubled. I thought he generated some good shots. I mean, it was one of those nights where, we didn't shoot it great. But, we didn't shoot it great last night. We were at 34% last night, but we did a lot of other things to kind of generate manufacture points. And I didn't think that we did those things as well tonight.
This is a serious question, and they're a good offensive rebounding team, but you've struggled to box out on missed free throws all season. I mean, how do you, that's got to drive you crazy as a coach, but how do you change that?
Yeah, I mean, we put it on film, we show it. That's been, we had two, I think, in the Orlando game prior to last night. We did a good job in that area. There was some rebounds, but tonight there was even a couple, rebounding situations in the third quarter or in the second quarter where shot went up. We're trying to block out, but the ball's loose. We got to go chase the ball down. Got to go get it. But yeah, we just got to keep putting that stuff on film. I think a lot of that stuff to me is just concentration and focus and being, kind of in the moment of what's going on, right? Like the only thing that matters right now is the guy shooting a free throw, and sometimes people just anticipate the ball's going to go in, and you can't, because of what you just mentioned. You're going to have some that are going to come off, and you've got to be able to come down with those.
To your point, I mean, and I've kind of asked you this before, but it seems like yesterday they played with a physicality more throughout the game than today in the second half. These lessons, these key points that they talk about as essential to winning games, they seem to forget them easily the following game. How do you as a coach kind of just make sure that these guys understand that this has to be done every day?
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned that too. We don't have the margins not to do it. I mean, that's, to me, the consistency part and the concentration part. And listen, for the way we're trying to play, and I don't necessarily think that, we're a lot different from a lot of other teams because the pace of the game is definitely sped up over the, throughout the league. But that's the part you're fighting for. Can you come back and do it again? Can you come back and do it again? Can you come back and do it again? And I've always been a big believer of shots are going to come and go. Like we can say, okay, we didn't shoot the ball tonight because we had tired legs. I still think you can block out better. I still think that you can, put your body in plays on drives. You still can communicate real well. There's things that I think you can do. I thought we handled some of the switching on the perimeter tonight better than we did last night. I thought we got a little bit out of whack with the lack of communication. But yeah, I mean, they've got to. We have to fight for those margins. That's the stuff. To your point, is you're fighting for that consistency.
Did you get an update on Jalen's status?
Concussion protocol. That's all I know right now.
Okay.
Billy, why do you think it is that when it kind of rains and pours, it feels like sometimes things are really going well for you and everything is going smooth first quarter, and then all of a sudden it really dries up? I know you're talking about the margins and boxing out and things like that, but I don't know, just from my vantage point, it doesn't necessarily feel like that would necessarily lead to a swing the way that we saw tonight.
In terms, I'm not sure if I quite understand.
In terms of the runs that you guys go on, either hot or cold.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of making and missing shots, you mean?
Not so much in terms of making and missing, but just in terms of the swings that you see throughout the course of these games where momentum is just behind you and you've got really long run, and then you go through these super cold spells. Why is it hard to break up those sort of cold spells?
Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily that's I think that's the way it is in the league. There's a lot of momentum swings and changes in the game. I mean, you look at the game last night, the first quarter starts out, I don't know what it was, 17-7 or whatever it was, 14-4. We're down 10 right away, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden we kind of come back, and there's going to be swings in the game. I think that their ability to use Bridges in a lot of different ways, and the physicality of him, and at times being very, very disruptive with triggers, they're a very, very physical team, and at times, to your point, I think Orlando was a physical team too. I didn't think that, in terms of attacking them offensively, we could have been better in my opinion. But I also feel like when shots aren't going in, you know, I think the first possession we knocked down a 3 of the third quarter, but then when it's like repetitively shot after shot, you have to have, I think you asked me like what makes up a good player, you have to have a mental toughness to be able to move into, you know, what can I actually control right now? And I just felt like with the number of shots we were missing, I felt like it bled into a lot of those controllables, and I think a lot of that changes the momentum sometimes in games.
Really, not this is like a silver lining or anything, but Modest again, pretty active on the boards, 8 overall, 3 on the offensive glass. What are you seeing different from him over this little stretch where he's getting in there and really impacting?
Yeah, I think there's a direct correlation by how hard and how much you crash in terms of how much you're rewarded, you know? And I think that he has done a better job consistently going to the backboard, you know, and I think he's done a better job of, even when there is some contact, of getting around it or trying to fight through it a little bit more. And I think in doing that, you know, because of his length and athleticism, he's probably been rewarded a little bit more. I don't think he was as conscientious early in the year as going to the backboard as much as he needs to. And we've really put a huge emphasis because we need extra possessions for ourselves to do that. So when he does do that, it really helps us.
And there's no reason with his physical abilities. I mean, I know he's slender, but his athleticism and length, especially if Jalen's out for any time, you've already got Zach out. That's an important area for him, right?
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, it's the understanding, you know, that just because you're being blocked out doesn't mean you have to stop. Like some guys can run through a lot of blockouts. He's got to use his quickness and his foot speed, you know, to kind of shake a guy off and get around him and get by him, and at least get even with him to either keep it alive or go grab it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, thank you. Yep.
It's a physical team. First quarter tonight, again, it's a physical team came out. What do you think? Why do you think the lapses happen with this group? I mean, I can't even give you an answer for that. I feel like they just happen, you know, and we have to be able to punch back fast and respond fast. That's the, you know, whole point of the game, how fast you respond to the other team's swings. So, I believe in this group for sure. So it's just something we have to get better at. Is that the challenge? You guys staying focused and keeping those details intact for not only the 48 minutes. It's impossible to do, but at least try doing that and then continue to do it night in, night out, and then the standings change. I mean, is that what you feel? Yeah, I feel like every team is different, you know. Like this team they're physical. They're not as physical as Orlando. They help each other a lot. But it all depends on the game. Today we didn't do it, so we have to be better.
In my thoughts, you guys had such a good first quarter with 39 points. And
Yeah.
kind of dried up, especially in that third quarter. What did you see as a difference?
I feel like the ball got a little stagnant, and I feel like I was a part of that. I was trying to do it like all by myself a little bit there, and I have to trust my teammates a little more, and you know, give them their grace also. They're all great players, and they can all do great things on the court. So, but I was a victim to that, just keeping the ball a little stagnant. I'll be better at that. Billy also told me that. So.
Did you feel that there was any kind of emotional letdown after Jalen went out?
Yeah, I mean, it's always sad, and by the grace of God, hopefully it comes back soon. But the game did change a little bit, but we can't blame it on that. You know, hopefully it gets back as soon as possible. But it's the next man up mentality always. Thanks, man.
You've had 2 straight games where your rebounding's kind of jumped up. What's kind of been the difference for you in that?
I'm just being aggressive every time. No matter what happens, you know, I'm 6'10", I'm athletic, I can go grab boards, and I started to realize that, and that's something I could be great at.
Do you think that's something the coaching staff, at least in us, I'm sure they've told you before, that they want to see you make a consistent impact on? How much of a focal point is that for you?
It's very important, and it helps our team get in transition. If I grab the ball, I can push the ball in transition, make plays, and you know that helps us.
Do you feel like you've kind of taken it upon yourself more to try to generate more offense now without Josh and Toby?
Yeah, I'd say that, but you know, as I said before, we have to move the ball. Everybody eats, and you know, I'm always going to stay aggressive, but it's a team sport. So,
what's the just general sort of frustration level with seeing the way that you can play in the first quarter and like maybe these longer win streaks, and then how quickly it can just drop to what it was in the second half?
Yeah, it happens, and as I said before, we have to be able to punch back right away, respond as fast as possible, be aggressive, and we just didn't do that tonight. And I know we're capable of doing that.